Well, my name is Kristy Shabout, and I am a Texan. I was born here in the Fort Worth area. I've lived here my whole life. Um, I have two daughters, and they're getting big. So my oldest daughter, Serena, is 21, and my youngest daughter, Sophie, 16. And so they are a big part of my why, doing everything I do, or also being in Rotary. I'm a nurse, and I've professionally been working as a nurse for about 25 years. I did work as the school nurse in my kids' elementary school, so there was that. I kind of felt like a rock star, I'm not gonna lie. Kids loved me because I was Nurse Kristy, and so I still run around in our community here, and people call me Nurse Kristy, and I've never been their nurse before. So I've done the PTA mom thing, I've done school nursing, I've worked in the district, so I've been really involved in the community just as a parent. I like being social, I like doing things. I don't have collections, I don't have, I think I might need to get one after talking to Dwayne's. Really, my passion comes for people. I love people, and super extroverted. I love talking and meeting new people and networking. So that's part of what keeps me going every day is experiences and getting to know people. And I just really love being able to be a part of a community where I think there's a lot of like-minded people, raising your kids together, and really get involved in the community. I think some of the pieces of Rotary that really speak to my heart, it's always the service above self. And I think professionally that speaks to me, but personally, I think that's part of what Rotary feeds for me is somewhere to give back. And as my career's kind of progressed, I've stepped away clinically from nursing quite so much, and my job right now is a desk job. So while I know I'm still having an impact and doing something in the nursing community, I don't get to have that day-to-day interaction with people. So Rotary has really filled a need just for me personally in being able to give back and kind of interact with people. Service above self, but I also really like how Rotary intertwines education and building communities, educating people and stepping in with a need to help people who are underserved internationally, especially. I think that's something that appeals to me that I would like to get more involved with in Rotary is the international piece for sure. I think the service is definitely what speaks to me and what's drawn me to Rotary is just being able to really feel like you can touch someone's life, even if it's just for an hour. So locally, I think some of the projects that we've really plugged into that have meant the most to me, one's our Memorial Day service that we do and participate in at Mount Gilead Cemetery. And I love that our Rotary group is known for helping with that. So like putting a face on our Rotary group, that we have something we consistently do each year. It feels good to be able to be a part of a day where we really give back and help the community kind of come together and have a positive day of remembering. So I really love that part of how our group has plugged into that. Stepping Stones is another organization that we have done a few projects with. And I know one day we did a yard cleanup with them, and it was a lot of work. It was hot, and I felt like we worked for hours and didn't do a whole lot, but we did. We did as much as we could in the time we had. But that's a very important nonprofit in our community that does some really good work with youth, and to be able to go in and help her so she could shift funds where they need to be and not for cleanup and other things of that nature. Some of the other projects, I love Casey's Kids. Casey's Kids is is a fun run for the school district, helps kids in need in the district, and we raise money, and we do that every year. So again, it's being seen in the district, in the community. People know that the Rotary has a water stop on the race every year. So I see, teachers I used to work with, kids that know me as Nurse Kristy running by. So I love that part of it, and that we're kind of a staple of that now, and people expect us to be there. So I like that our Rotary has a face in the community now, and we're starting to be seen and known a little bit more for specific events. Personally, Rotary, one really good opportunity that we took advantage of this year for my family is RYLA, which is the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. My daughter Sophie is an incoming junior at Timber Creek, so a local high school, and she attended RYLA this summer. Our Rotary sponsors 2 kids every year to go to the leadership camp. It's at Tarleton, and it's I think a Thursday through a Sunday. Very intense leadership activities. Those kids are busy all day, every day, and she was not like the most excited to go, but she went, I think, first of all, just because I wanted her to, but I think it's such a great opportunity that Rotary provides for kids. And we'd had several other members send their children and had great experiences, and I kind of was hoping it was going to be the same for her, and it was. She had a fantastic time. She thrived. She came back with great stories, and she's joining student council this year. So that piece of really being able to see, the impact it has on your kid, I think is amazing. Personally, that's, one big benefit I think I've received from Rotary. I didn't even know, the camp existed a couple years ago. I've told friends about it. And actually, one of my friends took her son attended this year with my daughter. So, opportunities that they might not have had we not been a part of Rotary. Any youth, incoming junior, incoming senior, can be eligible for the camp. It's free to the kids. Our Rotary group sponsors it, so it's no fee for the child to go. And I mean, I can't think of a better experience for a kid to take 3 or 4 days out of their summer, be off their phone, and really, plug into other kids and youth their age and see a little bit bigger picture of what's out there leadership-wise. But, they do a service project in the community while they're there. They're talking about bigger issues, while they're there and how to problem solve. So it really makes them kind of tap into some leadership skills that they may not be getting or developing necessarily in their regular education. So I think my big aha with Sophie on camp was she came home talking about one of the activities they had done on the day they had their service project. So service project was in the morning. The camp was in June. It was hot. They were exhausted. They came back in for the afternoon to do an activity, and she participated pretty well through the week. What made me the happiest to hear from her is she said she was going to just sit back after she came in from the service project and just kind of glide through that activity. She'd been doing a lot, and she was just going to let the other kids kind of take over. Like, I'm going to sit here and chill and just listen and absorb. And she said once they started into the activity, she sat up and she was like, nope, I can't sit back. I got to get involved. I think for me as a nurse, one piece of Rotary that really speaks to my heart is the polio initiative. We vaccinate in the U.S. and we take it for granted. There are still kids in other places around the world, underserved, who don't have the choice because it's not available to them. I mean, as a nurse, that makes me sad, and as a parent and as a mom, that makes me even more sad. I love that part of what we do and the dues that we pay go into funneling vaccinations to underserved areas. And so, there's very few areas now that it's polio is endemic in, but it's still happening. And so hopefully within the next few years, that will be eradicated. And I love that part of the global initiatives that they take. And then I think one of the other ones that really speaks to my heart is just clean water. That's something I think in this country people get very complacent and impatient, and our expectations are set that we deserve, and it couldn't happen to us any other way. I mean, we've been blessed to maybe be born into certain situations, but there are so many areas in the world where they have to carry clean water back to their house to cook. I think one of the greatest takes for me is just friendships. I have tons of friends in our Rotary group, but I've made friends in Rotary as well. People I wouldn't have necessarily known, we might not have crossed paths, either because our kids grew up in different areas in town, or we don't work in the same field or something of that nature. So I've met people that I consider friends now, and just be able to serve with your friends, whether that's in something physical, or if we're doing fundraising, or we're actually volunteering somewhere, Meals on Wheels, or whatever we're doing, to do that with friends is, I think the ultimate fellowship, really. And it's being able to be with people who have are like-minded, similar hearts, servants' hearts. It's just a lot of good people. So I think the relationships that you form in Rotary are probably one of my biggest takeaways. For people who are looking for something to resume build, it's a great option. It's international, it's well known. If you're looking for something to fill that piece of your heart that you just need to feel because you want to give and do something more for people around you, Rotary fills that, because there's tons of ways you can be involved locally, internationally. Rotary is all about building people, building relationships, and it gives people a chance to shine. You want to be a leader. What better way to do it than in your community? So it's nice to get people together who want to do good, and you start seeing the ideas fly around. That part is really fun for me. Meeting people in the group who have been involved doing things professionally that now they can come and apply in our Rotarian group is really fun, and you start to see things through different eyes, and you see things through a different lens of ways you can help, or skills you could tap into, skills you can learn. And maybe that's in helping to plan a fundraiser for us, something fun that we do in the community that'll have a positive impact in the community. Another area that I really love of Rotary is our Interact groups, which is the high school groups, building leaders for the future, teaching these kids to always put others first in life. I think is a really great lesson that they can learn. What's the best way to do that? So for kids who want to be involved in Interact in the high schools, there's always a sponsor. We're working on, one of the sponsors I think is changing at Fossil Ridge High School, but at Timber Creek it's Madeline Rodriguez. You can also reach out to our Rotary Club on our Facebook page and message us at any time. So if you have a kiddo you think might thrive and want to get involved in that, then Interact is a good option for them. It's great for their resume for college. They do have leadership positions in Interact, so they hold offices, they hold formal meetings. and it kind of teaches them a little bit about that meeting process. They do service projects every month that they organize on their own, and then our Rotary group, since we're involved with the high schools, when we have functions, you know, a lot of times the interact groups will come and volunteer and do things with us, so we get to interact together, their clubs and our Rotary clubs. And of course, you know, our hope is that as they finish interact and get out of high school, that they're going to find a Rotary group wherever they settle. Each Rotary meeting, you know, as a Rotary group, we meet weekly. We are every Thursday morning, 7 a.m. We are the Breakfast Club. And we have speakers that our members take turns scheduling. So generally we'll have other nonprofits come in, and we kind of love to hear about what they're doing in the community, and then we'll often see if it's somewhere that we can plug in to help, especially if it's something we can do to volunteer and support them at a function they have, or a 5K, or if they need some kind of help. For people who were thinking about joining Rotary, I would say jump in. Both feet, both hands, do it.